Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome everyone. Today we are starting with the new chapter 6 or new unit. Okay, this is basic arithmetic. You are going to learn some new things in this unit like ratio and all. Okay, so in this chapter, see how do you compare things. If suppose I have a bottle, okay, I have one bottle, suppose. So if someone asks me to compare that single bottle, can you compare only one bottle by itself? You cannot, isn't it? So you need to have two objects or two things to be compared. If I have two bottles, I can compare both of them with each other, like what is the height of the bottle, or the color, or the material of the bottle with the other bottle, isn't it? So anything which we want to compare, obviously you should have two things, two or more objects to be compared. Sorry. So you need to have two or more objects to compare the things, isn't it? So how do you compare? I have normally, what do you do in comparison? If I have a stick, okay, a stick something like this. This stick is of some 10 centimeter. Okay, the length of, or I think this is of 10 centimeter height. I have another stick which is of some 4 centimeter. I will take. Okay, so how do you compare these two sticks? By looking them at the figure, you can say this stick is big, this stick is small, and this stick is small and this is big, this is little fat and this is thin, isn't it? And what about in terms of number? What the length, this is 10 centimeter and this is 4 centimeter. So you will subtract 10 minus 4, it is 6. So the stick is what, 6 centimeters bigger than the small stick, isn't it? You compare like this, isn't it? So you will say that the big stick is how much? 6 centimeters big compared to the smaller one, isn't it? So normally you take difference. If you are talking about weight, okay, someone is of weight some 10 kgs and the other boy, he is of some 15 kgs. So the difference, or if when you're comparing, so this boy is 5 kgs more, he has 5 kgs weight more than this boy, isn't it? So you will take 15 minus 10, you will have 5 kgs. So this person or this boy is 5 kgs, have 5 kgs more weight compared to this, to compare to this boy. We talk like this, isn't it? So basically till now you had seen comparisons in the form of differences, right? If you want to compare, you compare it by taking the difference of those two quantities or two objects, okay, whatever it is related to either height, weight, or the size, or anything. Okay, now in this unit you are going to see like comparisons. You can do it by division. All right, so this comparison is what you call it as ratios. Okay, so ratios are what you are comparing the same quantities by division. All right, so if I say suppose I'll take one example. I have 5 rupees, okay, and you have some 15 rupees with you. All right, so I will say the comparison in the form of ratios. So I will say 5 is to 15. Okay, that means I can divide them 5 by 15. So ratio of my money with me with two compare is to yours. So it will be 5 1s are 5, 5 3s are 15. This is 1 by 3 or 1:3. Okay, you represent ratio as is to. Okay, so I will say the money which I have is 1 by 3 times less than your money. Okay, so if you talk about like the compare money with you is to mine, so that time it will be 15:5. That means you have money with you how many times? 3 times more than me, isn't it? If I compare money from me is to you, then I will say I have 1 by 3 times money less than yours. Okay, when it is comparison is from your side, that is you have 3 times more money than me. Okay, so this is how the term changes. All right, so I will show you one video in which it is shown this explained totally about the ratios. Okay, so your representation of ratios. So ratio, it is represented as A is to B. Okay, so this is the first term and this is the second term, and this is to be read as A is to B. Okay, so this ratio you can also represent it as A by B. This is one and the same. Okay, 1 by 2 is nothing but 1:2. Alright, so whenever you see the ratio, that means it is division. Okay, so I'll show you one video. Watch this carefully and understand the concept.
Let's learn about ratio. What do we mean by a ratio? In our daily life, many a times we compare two quantities of the same type. In certain situations, comparison by division makes better sense than comparison by finding out the difference. Thus, a ratio is comparison of two quantities of the same kind by division. Let us understand with an example. Here are 5 kites and 7 balloons. We write the ratio of 5 kites to 7 balloons as shown. It is read as 5:7. 5 is called as the first term and 7 as the second term. The first term in the ratio 5:7 is 5 because kites are mentioned first. Now look, the ratio of balloons to kites is 7:5, as here balloons are mentioned first. Remember, 5:7 and 7:5 are not the same ratio, as 5:7 is 5/7 and 7:5 is 7/5. Now let's solve an example. Write the ratio of 13 puppies to 4 dogs in 3 ways. The ratio for 13 puppies to 4 dogs can be written as 1. 13:4, 2. 13, then colon, then 4, and lastly 13/4. Now let's solve a story problem. There are 10 cows for every 18 hens in the farm. Find out the answers to the given ratios. Let's write the statements first. Number of cows is equal to 10. Number of hens is equal to 18. Firstly, we find the total number of animals. which we get as 28. The required ratios are 1. The ratio of hens to cows is 18:10, which is equal to 9:5. 2. The ratio of cows to hens is 10:18, which is equal to 5:9. 3. The ratio of cows to the total number of animals is 10:28, which is equal to 5:14. 4. The ratio of hens to the total number of animals is 18:28, which is equal to 9:14. Here, as the terms had common factors, we reduced them to their lowest value to find the ratio between them. Now, let us see how to express a ratio whose second term is 100 as a percentage. Write 35:100 as a percent. Firstly, write 35:100 as a fraction, that is 35 upon 100. We already know any number with denominator 100 is written as it is in percent. Thus, it is expressed in percentage as 35%. Next, write 15 raw mangoes to 100 ripe mangoes as a percent. Here, we are given a ratio of raw mangoes to ripe mangoes as 15:100, which is equal to 15 upon 100. We write it in percentage as 15%. Now, try solving some examples on your own.
So you had seen the basics of ratios. I hope you understood the video which was played just now. Okay, so in that one of the thing was ratio in the simplest form, right? So what does this mean? You have the ratio in general A is to B. Okay, A is called antecedent. Okay, antecedent, and B is called consequent. Okay, so this antecedent and consequent, if they have no common factors other than 1, okay, then you call that ratio as in the simplest form. It is just like in the fractions we had seen. If I have 6/12, I don't say this fraction is in the lowest form, because I can cut this as 6 1s are 6, 6 2s are 12, isn't it? In the same manner, 6:12, 6/2 is 12 is nothing but 6:12. So this is not the simplest ratio. This ratio is not in the simplest form. So to be in the simplest form, this antecedent and consequent should have common factor only 1. It shouldn't have more than 1. So for this common factor you have 3, so it will get cancelled. 3 2s, 6 1s are 6, 6 2s are 12, isn't it? Common factors 3 2 6. So more than 1 you have common factors. Okay, anyway, you just understand that just like in fractions, if you can cut the numbers, you need to cut them, okay, and put it in the lowest form. So this kind of ratios, you call it as the ratio in its simplest form. Alright, so today let's stop till here. Okay, remember this is, you can call it as a first term, and this is a second term. Okay, or you can call this as antecedent and the second term as consequent. I hope you repeat those words and you understood the basics of ratio. We will move on further in the next video, inshallah. Okay, until we meet again, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.